Grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage for the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Here we go. No. Said I'll never do it again. No. Man, I slept. No. Said I'll never do it again. No. Well. No. Said I'll never do it again. No. Man, I'm tired of this shit. Tired of it. No. Said I'll never do it again. No. Man, it's the detox. No. Said I'll never do it again. No. Said I would never do it again. No. Said I'll never do it again. No. I'm so tired of this shit. No.
Welcome to the Overcomers of Relapse podcast. I am D, your host. This is episode 8 of season 4 of my podcast. So welcome to all listeners out there. It is great to share this experience with you. I just want to put this out there right from the beginning. This podcast is not only pertaining to relapse as far as drugs, alcohol, or any other addictions. We are open to all topics. However, our main topic is why do we have addictive behaviors and how can we overcome them? On episode 8 of season 4, I would like to use for a topic, are your measurements off? Are your measurements off? Now, if you notice the first format title of this topic, it's kind of hard to read. However, the second format is clear. I personally think this is how we sometimes see others. There is an old quote, before you go making judgments of others, make sure you have them measured up. This simply means we live in a world where there are all kinds of people in it. Races, creeds, cultures, and experiences. Unless you have all the facts on an individual, you have no right to judge them as a person. That's just my personal opinion. I am going to go a step further. Even if you have the facts, you still don't have the authority to judge others. Some of their behaviors, yes, they can be questionable. The person personally, no. You do not know what an individual has been through that has made them behave or become the person they are. I first want to start off with talking to my recovering addicts out there. I personally have experienced this with friends, family members, associates, etc., etc. Even people that work in the profession of helping recovering addicts. Shocking, I know. Listen, you cannot judge a book by its cover. Most recovering addicts that I know are wonderful people. And the one thing they are guilty of that the sobers are not is that they have a disease, addiction. Let's just talk about this, okay? In my experiences, I have met some of the most intelligent, talented, with the biggest heart addicts when they are not under any substance. I know I am going to get some feedback here, but this is just my opinion. We as a society are too quick to judge each other especially recovering addicts, period. It is a lifetime process. Just in case you did not catch that, it is a battle they have to fight the rest of their lives. Have you ever tried to measure something and it is not in alignment? Your measuring is going to be off. In other words, wrong. Unfortunately, this happens all the time. We do it to each other without realizing our outlook or our actions toward each other. We are all guilty of it, including the podcast host, me. Now, I want to come to the sober's defense as well. Like I said earlier, in my opinion, it is so easy for us to incorrectly measure up each other because of a behavior or an act we observed of someone. This does not mean this is the totality of that person. I have personally been working on myself with this, and this is what I came up with that seems to work for me. Most likely, if you ask yourself the 5 W's, the 5 W's will help you be careful with your measuring up of people. The first W, why? Why are they behaving that way? Second W, what? What has caused them to behave this way? Third W, who? Who in their life, past or present, has taught or helped cause this behavior? Fourth W, where? Where did this behavior come from? Is it genetic? When did this behavior start? Probably goes back to an experience they had, and I have no idea or know anything about it. What could be the root of it? I don't know. Most behaviors you see people commit is not the real problem. There is some underlying dysfunction foundation that is causing it. All you are really seeing is the symptoms or the reaction of what is really hiding underneath the surface of that person's being. Using the 5 W's has been a big help to me in looking at people through another scope. You cannot expect people to live, be, or behave through your eyes of what you consider correct behavior only. Because whether we want to admit it or not, we live a great percentage of our lives seeing people and ourselves and things in general the way I first formatted the topic of this podcast, with the wrong measurements of others and ourselves. Okay, I want to tell you a story here. This is a true story that I experienced. I was in the grocery store and I had made it to the register to pay for my items. The cashier was very professional and polite. However, the person that was bagging the groceries, he seemed a little strange. He was talking to himself, seemed angry on the outside, just an angry person. He was not conversational and just kind of rude to the cashiers. He was going from post to post to help bag groceries. So once he was away, I thought to myself, here I go, starting measuring the situation, measuring the person up in my mind. What is wrong with this guy? He should not be working here. Bad for business. So, me being me, Out of curiosity, I asked the friendly cashier, what is wrong with him? Who hired this guy? Well, to make a long story short, she informed me that the manager hired him because he was homeless and sitting in front of the store asking every day for a job. He had been through a lot in life and had some mental issues and could not afford to pay for his medication he takes regularly. This is just a temporary position for him because the manager did not have any other positions open at the time. He will be working pretty soon behind the scene in the back of the store. Sir, we're just trying to help him. Sorry if he offended you. You get the picture here? We measure up people too soon without knowing their story. I guess the point I am making is I start measuring up the guy from my experience with him and not from the experiences he had been through. Now, I know what you are thinking. How are you supposed to know this guy's story? Well, you see, that's the whole point. I don't need to. I just have to have the right heart and spirit about my own to be more careful before I measure up others. Look, I am not trying to indicate that we should tolerate or accept all or any kind of behaviors from each other. No, not at all. However, be sure we are not happy with the behavior of others or ourselves, but we are not judging the person or totaling the calculation of an individual because of a behavior or an action that they or ourselves may have committed. That's like the whole quote, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Well, let me think about that. That quote may be before some of you guys' time. How about this quote? People that live in glass houses should not throw stones. Well, most of us should know that one. My friends, let's try to make the effort of how we measure up each other. Because you just never know what the other person is going through, or their story, or what they are facing. This is my opinion and experiences. Measurement starts with the judgment of my own capacity to love, forgive, be more understanding and accepting of my mistakes and flaws as well as others. Cause when I look in the mirror, I have to do my own measuring of me. Maybe we all should. I certainly believe it will make this world a better place to live in. Well, that's it for episode 8, season 4. Please visit my website, the Overcomers of Relapse Lounge. It is listed on the screen. Please feel free to post on blog, share thoughts, and also feel free to chat. Contact information is on there also, along with a lot of great music. Also, come on and join us on my Facebook group called Overcomers of Relapse Lounge. A lot of great inspiring posts and just a great group of people to chat with. Let me know your opinions and thoughts. And also if you would like to be a guest on the podcast. Thanks again for joining me. Talk with you again very soon. Take care of yourselves out there. Bye-bye.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage for the things that I can, and the wisdom to love endurance